back to the class, everyone. Today we have a very rare but very necessary conquest video where we're going to be taking a look at a lot of the feats that at a nice glance seem to be near impossible because they require several characters that are very new that unless you're spending money, you probably don't have starred or geared up or really anything going with them. So as you can see here, this is my roster we are currently sporting. I believe this is I got to check out the Roman numerals. A Gear 8 Cal, a Gear 8 Merrin. Oh, he's not modded. That's great. And then as well as our Gear 11 Tusken Chieftain. And as I previously mentioned, they're really needed to get through the conquest in some fashion unless you're trying to max out everything else but them. And even then, I'm not sure if that's exactly possible with how many breeders are left over. But that being said, we're currently in Phase 4, or I'm currently in Sector 4 of this conquest. And I've discovered that with the right data disc matchup, even having them really poorly geared, you can complete all the feats that they're necessary for. So whether this is a part of you getting red crate, or if you're like kind of like me where red crate was probably already going to happen, but this is going to allow you to do everything on a treasure node and get all of these really valuable, I think it's the MK2, no, this is the MK3, the MK2 pieces that I'm always short on. I think this has some pretty nifty tricks in it. So that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at what we're actually doing here. So as you can see here, we've got our Night Sisters. I've been doing this for a while. You can probably tell by the fact that I have 60% stamina up on everyone. But my gear isn't also the greatest. I think I've got gear 12 on most of my characters here with a Relic 5 Daka, and then as we previously saw, Merrin. And they really just kind of take the Tuskens to town. I will show my discs after we get through the battles, but in short, it's basically one Amplify Agony, not a bunch, just one Amplify Agony with the burning that comes in on every turn. And then I have like Zealot's Ambition. I don't feel that's very important for this battle in specific because we don't have really a lot of support characters here, at least not a lot of healthy ones. So as you can see, we're going in right away. They go after my Daka twice there. That's not going to be the end of the world because we're going to be able to revive them. That's kind of what Night Sisters do. And I realize this exact moment probably looks really RNG dependent, but as you can probably saw at the very beginning, 60% stamina. This is our 5th time doing this just today. So even if your Night Sisters are a little bit lower geared, you should be able to do this once or twice or even 3 times a day, and that'll be able to get the 40 at the end of the 14 days. I believe that's how math works. 28, 32. Now you'll probably have to do it 3 or 4 times most days, but either way, we're here on our 5th attempt with just pretty much our R5 Daka, and at this point, it's pretty much game over. The plague is getting out, they're getting all those debuffs, and why the data disc is so important with Amplify Agony is that's really how they're dying. My, Gear 12 Asajj Ventress does not have the damage to be able to take them out. Really, neither does anyone else on this team. It's going to ultimately have to boil down to the Plague getting them along with Amplify Agony and hitting with the dots that we have coming in. There is no Volatile Accelerator, by the way. That would probably actually make this a lot easier. So we were able to take our Night Sisters in. They did really stinking well. The next one is going to be probably the easiest of these 3, and that's going to be taking in JML, a bunch of Jedi, and then on top of that, either Cal or Seer. Doesn't really matter which one you use. As you can see, we've been using Cal for the last 4 attempts, and this one is a little bit, it's very easy, but it's a little bit tricky. You kind of have to line things up right if you are using the debuff heavy data disc. You don't, in fact, I would probably advise not to use any of the dots or burning or thermals or any of those data discs for these set of characters here, because what's going to end up happening is they're going to steal a lot of kills from Cal because they take so many turns, and yeah, it doesn't end well every single time. But as you guys just saw there, my old Ben just called my no modded Gear 8 Cal in, and because Cal's damage on that assist is based off of Jedi Master Luke's protection, it was enough to, not only was it enough to kill him, but because it was Cal's attack that did it, or rather Cal being assist coming that did it, he actually gets the kill and he gets credit for that, and we end up getting to work our way through those 100 kills. And again, if you have 5 characters here and let's say, 1 or 2 dice to dots every time and you get 3 kills and you do this 4 times a day, that's 12, and you have this done in about 8 days. So definitely, while, like I said, this can seem really daunting to have to beat all these feats with characters that you just don't have geared, it is possible if you're willing to put in the work, get the right data discs, assuming you can find them. I do believe there's a little bit of flexibility here. The more I look at it, the more I think that actually like a volatile accelerator with dots and thermals. I forget the exact name of those data discs. That would probably make this go a lot quicker, and we would probably just burn everyone down. Now here you guys will probably get to see me waste a little bit of energy because I forgot to take old Ben out when I went with the Tuskens, so we can just skip that part there. But I did want to take note, this really doesn't require like any super modding as well. I didn't remod any of my characters to do this, and I even go in here and show like I don't really know what's even going on with my Tusken Raider. He has a speed set with 47 speed. These are not good mods. Like this is not crucial to winning here. And like even like he's modded for protection and he's support. So with Zealous Ambition, he should be modded for health. Yeah. Anyways, not important. You should be able to do this even without that. I will say my Zetas are probably important here. In fact, probably so is my Gear 11s. But I have the 2 Tuskens relicked up for their respective Galactic Legends, Lord Vader and Jabba, and then my Shaman's just a Gear 12 because they accelerated gear and whatnot. But yeah, as you can see, this one is actually the hardest of the 3 battles, and me personally, I will probably only be doing about 3 battles of these a day. We need 20 or the process of the 2 weeks, so you know, 3 battles a day, that'll get me there pretty easily, just because you can see here they actually get in some kills. And again, we've done this 4 times today, so it's definitely far from impossible. It can be done. But yeah, I don't want to keep doing a node where I only have 1 or 2 characters surviving by the very end of it. So as you can see, we're gonna get the win there just between the debuffs getting him, and then he'll just kill over and die. So very nice. Yeah, so with that being said, we're able to make progress on all those feats and ultimately get them all done to be able to not only get Red Crate, but be able to do it entirely on a bonus node where we're not constantly having to burn our conquest energy going around and finding random specific nodes. So again, I think there is a lot of flexibility on data disc. I don't think you have to have this exact combination, but for what we were doing, caustic emissions is probably one of the most important because that's our damage over time, and then our amplified agony on top of that. Voluntary Varangyr is also just very good for everything. It not only makes a certain character taunt, which actually making Daka taunt is probably not ideal. We probably want Zombie to taunt there, but she's Gear 12, so what are you gonna do? Zealous Ambition, don't feel like that was important at all for this one. I had very few support or healer characters. I guess the Tuskens, but I mean, you guys saw my total health in that move was not very high. Vitality probably is important, actually. That was one of the reasons I was probably able to survive with such low stamina. And then Entrenched is always nice too, but I think a lot of the Amplify Agony or the Max Health, Entrenched, that type of stuff, ultimately being combined with maybe, I think I have one in here actually, a Volatile Accelerator, that whenever they deal damage, they end up having to deal with damage over time and gain turn meter, and I think that'll eventually kill them off. So you have to play around with it with your roster, seeing what is best for you and seeing what you can ultimately amount to. And I do want to show this just so there's no confusion. Everything we were doing does actively count towards a feat. Like we said, we have done our 5 Tusken, actually I think we did 1 Tusken battle yesterday, so we got our 4 Tusken battles today that all counted to that. My Night Sister battles do count, so they're in here just fine. Those do count for kills for Cal. So all 3 of these are doable. They're all doable on a bonus node. I just kind of have to make sure you pay attention to the right discs, get what you need to get, and do what you can. Thank you guys for watching. Until the next time, stay awesome.